Hello everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another cross-stitching video. In this video, I am going to be starting new things. It is currently Monday, July 13th and my birthday is Friday, July 17th. And so I decided I'm going to start some things, which I am not really fully ready to start things. Last week, I didn't have a ton of extra time, it seems like, to get things ready. Normally I would have had fabric ready and I would have had like the floss on floss cards. I don't have any of that prepared. I know what I want to start, but I don't really have my stuff ready. Where is my tablet? So new starts. I know that on my actual birthday, I am going to be starting either Cat Cafe or Flower Rabbit. Both of those are from Unconventional X Stitch. Cat Cafe is a mini. It is charted by, the artwork is by Chrisabug, and Flower Rabbit, the artwork is by Karen Yumi. And so I do know the fabric for those ones. For Cat Cafe, I will be using a 25 count, which I just ordered last week. And then for Flower Rabbit, if that gets picked, because I'm leaving this one up to you guys. So like a video ago, 2 videos ago, I'm not sure which, I asked which one I should start on my birthday, and I said that whichever one had the most comments would win. So far Cat Cafe is winning, so it looks like it will be Cat Cafe. And then I dyed a fabric for Flower Rabbit because the background on that one is not stitched, and so I wanted it to have a fun fabric, and I wanted it to be something that the white wouldn't blend into, because I was like, I'm not stitching the light colors of that dress on a light fabric. So I dyed this piece of fabric, which is a 16 count. So the piece will be pretty big because it's a 16 count, but I love the colors of that piece and the flowers, and I also love the fabric that I dyed for it. So that's the only thing that I know for sure of like what's going on what fabric. So other things that I kind of want to start is I kind of want to start a stitch along from 2013, my tablet is saying. That's crazy. And that is the stitch along from Heaven and Earth Designs. HADE is how it's usually abbreviated. So if you hear me say HADE, it's Heaven and Earth Designs. And the 2013 stitch along was Literate Dragon, which was artwork by Randall Spangler, and it's like a miniature of a bigger piece of artwork. So you can't find the stitch along piece anymore, but on their website they do have a larger version of Literate Dragon. So I could potentially start Literate Dragon. And if I stitch that one, I would most likely do it on like a 28 count, even though that would make it so tiny because it's already small. So I would have to think about that. Well, it says that on a 25 count, it would be 5.5 by 5 3/4. So it would be like so small. So I could do it on a 28 count because I know I have 28 count, or I do have some 18 count. So it might be better on the 18 count. And then the other piece that I've been thinking about really wanting to start is called Cozy Reading. And it's a piece that I got off of Etsy. And hold on. I am on Pattern Keeper looking to see what the Etsy shop was. So the Cozy Reading, it actually came as a bundle because you could buy them separately on the Etsy shop or you could buy them together and get a slight discount. So I have Cozy Reading and Cross-Stitching Young Woman is what it says on the PDF. And it is from my.brave.stitch on Etsy. And I really loved these pieces because I love reading and I love cross-stitching. So a woman reading and a woman stitching, they're just perfect. So the one I really want to start though first is I think the Cozy Reading one. It just looks so cute. The colors are fun. And I think if I stitch this one, it would be on an 18 count. I could do a 28 count because I do have 28 count. I just don't know. I need to check the sizes. Like I did the Stardew Valley pieces on a 28 count, and it's a fine size. I just don't know like if I want them to be slightly bigger. So that will decide which fabric I do. Most likely is what the final size would be. And so I'm not sure exactly which of those I'll be starting first. I also have a couple things that I wasn't like, they weren't something I was originally planning on starting, but I was actually reached out to by a company and I got a couple of kits, and so I kind of want to start those. And so I was reached out to by someone from Realist, and so I have a Realist kit that I would like to start. And I'm not going to talk about them too much, like the details in this video, because I think I'm going to make a separate video where I show like what's inside this kit, and then also the video most likely won't come out for like a month because I want to show what's inside the kit, but then I also want to spend time stitching on it so I can show you progress on how it's actually looking stitched up, and then give thoughts with working with the wool, because this isn't a cotton thread, it is a wool thread, and so I want to be able to like, you know, fully say, you know, how it was working with it. So that will be coming out later, and this one is Mysterious Universe. I loved the colors of this piece, and there was other charts that were also like similar to this. There was like a waterfall where it was like bright colors and it was gorgeous. And like I said though, I will talk more about like the other pieces that I was like drooling over in that video. But I will mention that, hold on, first I'll show the other kits. There's another kit. So there's Riolis, and then they also have another company, which is, the name is Irish, so I think it's pronounced Anya or Onya. And they have cross-stitch kits too. So they are different websites, but it's technically, I think, owned by the same people, and I really loved this one. This is Baby Sea Turtle, and they had other baby animals. So there was a baby seahorse, there was a baby jellyfish, and then they also had like a hedgehog that was adorable. They also had some pieces that were really fun of like the women with like flowers, which if you know me, like I did Autumn Harmony, and that was, you know, woman with flowers. And then I have other pieces by Maxine Gad where it's like the same thing of like a face with florals. And they had some pieces that were like that where I was like, I love that too. Anyways, I said I wasn't going to talk too much into details, but then I just keep going. So I got a piece from each of the websites. I'm very excited to start them, and like I said, I will be making a video for each of these where I show what's inside the kit and also talk more about the working with the floss and showing progress updates in those videos. So that will be coming out eventually, but I will say they did give me a code, and so you can use the code Jamie15 for 15% off your purchase on Realist or Anya. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm very excited to get to start these. It's just going to make this week just like a full-on startup-palooza. So I am excited. I am going to have lots of new starts to do, and like I said, I don't know which one I want to do first. So that's just going to be a surprise. I will come back to you once I have started something to show you what I actually have ended up starting. I am here with my first update for my new starts, and my first new start was Baby Sea Turtle, which I decided to do just because he's adorable. So here's the artwork for Baby Sea Turtle, and the way I started it is I started in the center because that's what the directions recommended, because like you have like this uneven border at the top, so it makes it easier to start in the center to make sure you have enough border all the way around the chart. So I started in the middle, and then I worked my way up this way, and then I decided to work on the background because this background is a half cross using one strand, so it went really fast. And so that's what I was doing, and then I was working around the turtle's head because I want to save his head for last because he is a cutie pie, and I want to stitch that face last because it is adorable. So that's my progress from one day of stitching on my Baby Sea Turtle, and it is now Tuesday, and I want to switch projects because I have multiple things I want to start, so I need to be switching my projects to get things started. So the next thing I think I'm going to start is, I don't have the my tablet with me to show the artwork, so I will insert the picture. It is Literate Dragon, I think. I'm stuck between Literate Dragon and the Cozy Reading one, so I'll insert both of those, but I have my fabric picked out for both of them. It's just a 16 count white fabric, and they are actually almost the same stitch count, so they need the same size fabric, so I just cut the same size piece for both of them, and I'm going to do them both on 16 count, 2/1 full cross. And Literate Dragon is, I think, 20,000 stitches, and then the Cozy Reading one is 13,000 because you're doing it in a circle, so you're not doing all like the corner stitches. So like they're the almost the same dimensions, but the one is slightly lower stitch count because it's a circle. So I'm not sure exactly which one of those I'm going to start, but I have the fabric ready for both. It's just the white fabric. So I will be back tomorrow to show you which one I ended up starting. So the last time that I recorded, it was on Tuesday. I did Stitching Tuesday, which I started this chart here, which this is the Cozy Girl reading chart from Etsy, and the Etsy shop is My Brave Stitch. And I'm really enjoying this one. I think I did 800 stitches. I am stitching it on a 16 count, 2/1 full cross, and I am loving just like the greens. There's so much green. The window is going to be not fun to stitch because it's light colors on light fabric, but at least it's a 16 count because a lot of my other charts are like 25, 28 count, and so it makes those like little stitches that are white impossible to see. Anyways, so I did stitching on this chart Tuesday. Wednesday, yesterday, I did not stitch at all. I was going to start Literate Dragon, which is the Haid Stitch Along piece from, I think, 2013. I looked it up, it's 2013. And I did not start it. So I think I'm just going to cancel that one for this week. I can start it at some other time because I have the fabric, I have floss, and I am going to be moving on today to a different new start, which I will show. Today I will be starting my Reolist kit, which is Mysterious Universe, and I love the colors in this. Like, look at all the colorful flosses here, and then it's stitched on a black fabric. So the black fabric, I'm kind of scared a little bit about that, but I am really excited about the colors in this piece. They are gorgeous, like the colors in that tree. I think I'm going to be starting in one of the top corners for this piece though, so I won't be at the colors right away. And the background, I am guessing, is most likely half stitches, so hopefully it will go kind of quick so I can get to that tree fast. And then also today, I also remembered I need to finish making my floss cards for Cat Cafe. So it's looking like Cat Cafe is going to be the piece that I start on my actual birthday. I need to like go and look and see if anyone else has commented on my video in the last couple days, and then I will add their comment to my little tallies. But yeah, Cat Cafe has been winning, and so I made my floss cards. These are floss cards that I got from AliExpress. And I like to just kit up my pieces with these floss cards. I wrote, you know, Cat Cafe, have all the numbers for the flosses already. And then I need to go through my master set of floss, and then I like to put a little bit of floss on the card so that it can be with the project. And it makes confetti stitches easier because all the floss for the project is right here instead of having to dig through my master set for a color where there's like 2 stitches possibly, because you know how full coverage charts will have that, where there will be an area where there's like 2 stitches of this color, 2 stitches of that color, and it's really annoying digging through a master set for, you know, things that are used like very little. And so having the floss cards just makes it easy because it's just all the flosses for the piece are in one place. So I need to put the floss on them today so that I can start Cat Cafe tomorrow, because tomorrow's my birthday. And I'll probably do that later. I have been obsessed with the show The Pit. I started watching it and I'm still in season 1, but I think I'm on like episode 13 already, and that's what I was doing when I was making the floss cards yesterday. I was just watching The Pit and I'm just obsessed. It is so good. It's a medical show and I love like doctor shows. They're so good. So I will be back tomorrow to show you my new start on Mysterious Universe and also to be starting Cat Cafe. I am back and it is Saturday and I have two new starts to show you. So the first one is Mysterious Universe by Riolis. I will say the coloring right now is kind of off because this fabric is black. Right now it does not really look black, but it is black fabric. And so this is my start on Mysterious Universe by Riolis, and I have done the background. That's all I've done so far. And the background is going really fast because it is all half crosses. I think it's all half crosses. So far what I have done is all half crosses. And then there are like blends and stuff to make like the colors like blend together really nicely. And so far I am really enjoying the way that it's turning out. There are also areas where you're just leaving the black fabric. So like right here is just going to be left with the black fabric. The lighting is making it look like a lot lighter than it really is, so I will show it later in better lighting. But yeah, so that was my first start on Thursday, was my Riolis kit. And then I finished getting all of my flosses ready for Cat Cafe by Unconventional Egg Stitch because I tallied up all the votes and Cat Cafe was the winner for my birthday start. And so I have my floss cards all put together with just a little bit of the floss, and then I started it because it is currently Saturday. My birthday was yesterday on Friday, and so I had my birthday start on Cat Cafe. And yesterday I did a lot of stitching. So I will say on like the Riolis and Onya kit, I am not counting stitches because it is a paper pattern, but on everything else I can keep track of my stitching on Pattern Keeper. And so yesterday I did like 1,900 stitches on my new start. So I will show, here is my new start on Cat Cafe. I started in the top corner just because it was the easiest place to start. And I also kind of want to save the right side until later because the right side has a bookcase and stuff, so it has kind of more fun stuff. And so I decided to start on kind of like the least fun side. And so this is like a cat hanging, and so it's fun to already kind of see that, and I'm really enjoying it. Also because it's a mini, it's only 80,000 stitches, and I have already done 1,900 stitches, so I'm already, I think, over 2%. I will need to check my percentage later. But yeah, I am really enjoying it so far. I really like the fact that so far there hasn't been, like, there are color changes, but there's not a lot of like 2 stitches and the floss. Like there's a lot of like colors that continue, and so it's easy to do kind of like some blocks of stitching. Like this section was like a block of stitching, and so was this section, and this was a block of stitching, and so it's got like a nice amount of block stitching mixed with the confetti to give the details. But it's not all confetti because I cannot stand charts that are like 100% confetti. Like I have looked at Josephine Wall artwork on the Heaven and Earth Designs website, and I love her artwork, but I also feel like it would be a ton of confetti, and that is not my favorite type of stitching, which is why I have never started a Josephine Wall before, because I just feel like it would end up being a ton of color changes, like a ton of like 2 stitches here, 2 stitches here of this color, and a lot of color changing. Anyways, it's currently Saturday. I still have another couple days for this video because I normally end my video on Monday, and so I think I will just rotate through projects. Like I might stitch a little bit on Cat Cafe and then do a little bit more on Mysterious Universe, which is under all my floss. And then try and like maybe do a little bit of stitching into each of the, I think I started 4 projects this week. So I think that's what I'm going to try and do, and I will be back once I have some stitching progress to show. I am back, and it is now Monday, and I have progress on all of my new starts to show, so I will quickly go over what I was able to get done the last couple days on these projects. So the first one I will show is Cat Cafe, and I was able to do another 500 stitches into it, and that means it now has, I think, 2,400 stitches already, which I am happy about. And so here's where it's at right now. I am really enjoying stitching on it so far. Like the colors aren't super like bright or anything, but I just am enjoying it. It's like an easy stitch. There's not too much confetti or anything like that. And yeah, I love it. I am really happy that this was my birthday start. And then the next piece I will show is Mysterious Universe, which is the Riolis kit that I had picked out. And this one is going to be very see-through. So here is what I was able to get done on this piece. I worked more on just the sky, and I was working over this way, over across the top, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm able to see in the paper chart like where the tree starts, and I'm not that far away from the tree, and a part of me just wants to like jump right to the tree just to see like the fun colors that are going to be coming next. But I am trying to like do sky first because, you know, the sky tends to be like the less fun area just because it's like blocks of blue, whereas the tree has so many colors. So there is my start on Mysterious Universe, which I am loving. It is going great. And then the next piece I will show is the Cozy Girl Reading chart, which is from My Brave Stitch on Etsy. And I did another 500 stitches into this piece, and I was just working on the green along this side. There is a ton of green just on this side, and so I'm trying to like get a lot of that done. And then I will need to go to the window, which the window is a lot of light colors, which isn't my favorite, but it is fine because I really like this piece and like just the girl reading, and you know, it has cozy in the name. I really like charts with cozy in the name. I have Cozy Winter Book Nook, Cozy Girl Reading. I was actually thinking I need like one more chart with cozy in it, and then I was like, I could have a whole video where it's like just working on my cozy projects, you know? And then the last piece I worked on, I only worked on it for an hour, but it's small, so I feel like you can see the progress pretty easily, and that is the baby sea turtle chart. And I worked on it during House of the Dragon last night, which I don't know, the episode, it wasn't my favorite, but it's fine. Not every episode can be the best, but so I worked on it for an hour. And I was working on, I added some more of the blue over here, and then I also added like the pink that is like the coral in the background. So it wasn't a lot of time, but I feel like the stitching I did made a big impact, you know? So I have a before picture, and yeah, like adding those pinks really added to the chart. And it's relatively small, so it like even a small amount of stitching adds like an impact to a small chart. So I am happy with this piece, and I am looking forward to stitching on it more. So my theme for next week, because I have all these new starts and I was like, I don't even know what I want to stitch of all of my things that I have, because like, you know, I have my other projects that I love, I have these new starts that I love, and I couldn't decide what I wanted to do next week. And so I decided to do spin the wheel going into this next week, and I put all of my projects are on a wheel, and I will just be spinning because I can't decide what I want to stitch on next because I am loving just all the projects. And so next week is going to be spinning the wheel to pick my projects. So that is it for cross stitching. I was going to quickly show birthday things. So for my birthday, I got a balloon. Happy birthday. And I also got a video game, which I'm going to need to make time to play. So I got Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I don't know a lot about it, but I have heard a lot of great things about it, and so I have been wanting to play it for a while, and yeah, I got it for my birthday, so now I can, and so I am looking forward to playing this game. Like I said, I've heard a lot of good things, so I need to start playing that. I actually played it for like 30 minutes, but like that doesn't really, you know, give you a lot of detail, because like usually the beginning of games is just like kind of like going through like tutorials, how to do this, how to do that. Anyways, other birthday gift was I got Lightlark by Alex Astor. I have not read this, but I saw this special edition, and so I had it on my wish list, and I got it for my birthday, and it is just gorgeous, like amazing. I know that in the description for the book, it says it's kind of like Hunger Games-esque, where there's like a curse and there are like 6 realms and the rulers have to go and like compete in a game or something, and then one has to die to break the curse or something. I don't know. It sounds good, but just like the book itself is gorgeous. Sprayed edges. There are photos in the back. It's gorgeous. So I was like, that is gorgeous. It was on my wish list and I got it for my birthday. So I was very, you know, happy with that. So I will need to read this. I need to make time for reading. And then I also got some Dungeon Crawler Carl stuff because my family knows that I'm like obsessed. And so they got me some little pins that I've already put on my purse and I love the pins. I will insert a picture of the pins. And then there was also like this little like stationery kit. So it had stickers in the stationery kit. It had I just dropped one. 2 little notebooks. So we have Royal Scratch Pad of Princess Donut, adorable, and then Spellbook of the Floor Club. So I love those. And then it also has bookmarks. So there are 2 bookmarks. And there was a pen. So there's a pen that says Princess Posse. And love it. Love it. I love Dungeon Crawler Carl. So I was really happy that they, you know, that they know my love of Dungeon Crawler Carl. And so now I have some cute little things. So that was my birthday things. That is all that I have for this video though. Thank you everyone for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. And thank you everyone who voted on which project I should start. I really am enjoying Cat Cafe and I'm looking forward to continue stitching on it. I will see you all in the next video. Bye!